Hello and welcome. My name is Steve Clem, Senior Vice President of Pre-Construction with Skanska USA Building, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to this tour of the Kendeda building, which is on campus at Georgia Tech University in Atlanta, Georgia. The tour will be hosted by my colleague Jimmy Mitchell and Sean Aurora, the building manager from Georgia Tech. One of the benefits of hosting an all-virtual conference is that many more people will be able to tour this building than ever would be able to do it in person. And we hope you learn from that and take away some lessons that you can use so that this building can further change the way buildings are thought of and conceived and built, not only in the Southeast, but around the world. So sit back, enjoy the tour. There will be contact information at the end if you have any questions, and please enjoy the rest of the 2021 International Mass Timber Conference. Thank you.
Greetings, Mass Timber Conference. Welcome to the Kendeda Building for Innovative Sustainable Design at the Georgia Institute of Technology. I am Jimmy Mitchell with Skanska, the builder, and I'm with Sean Aurora, the director of the Kendeda Building.
Thanks, Jimmy. Let's give you a quick background as to how this building came to be. Years ago, the founder of the Kendeda Fund, which is a family-based philanthropic organization here in Atlanta, Georgia, she was in Seattle and she saw this amazing building called the Bullitt Center. It's a building that generates more on-site electricity each year than it consumes. It's a regenerative building, and she was fascinated by that. And the question was asked, why can't we have a building like that? A building that gives back more than it takes here in the hot, humid, swampy South. Well, that's how this building came to be. They found the perfect partner in Georgia Tech, and then Georgia Tech went out and assembled a team that helped build this building. And the reason why this building is so important to us is because A, we've proven that it can be done, and sometimes proving that it can be done is half the battle, but the other half is then scaling it and convincing other people that they should adopt regenerative themes in their building projects as well.
And hopefully that scaling piece with Skanska's culture and values being so intertwined with sustainability and trying to do better and building better. We've loved this opportunity to build such a great project. And for this conference, we're going to give a focus on the mass timber piece of it. So thank you.
Let's go check it out.
Let's check it out.
We make the claim that this is the most sustainable building in the Southeast, if not the world, is because we built this building to satisfy the Living Building Challenge. The Living Building Challenge is the world's most ambitious green building certification standard. And in order to meet the Living Building Challenge, you got to satisfy all the requirements contained in 7 petals. Those petals are place, water, energy, health and happiness, materials, equity, and beauty. And the reason they're called petals is because the entire philosophy of the Living Building Challenge is encapsulated in a flower. You see, a flower shows up in the world, takes everything it needs from its place, its food, its light, energy, everything it needs, it takes from its place. And when it's gone, you wouldn't know it's here, except it leaves life in the form of seeds. So a flower gives back more than it takes, and a regenerative building seeks to give back more than it takes.
So digging into the petals, we actually have 20 imperatives that make up all those 7 petals. And here again, we have to do all of them. So mass timber primarily impacts the materials petal, but it also impacts health and happiness and beauty. And we even found a way to have it contribute towards equity. So the imperatives under the materials petal that mass timber contributes towards are local economy, regional materials, okay? It is FSC certified wood, Forest Stewardship Council wood. The salvage material, okay? Timber is a great salvage opportunity. And then embodied carbon. So mass timber structure really embodies the spirit of reducing the embodied carbon in the building. Skanska has a 2045 group goal for our entire construction industry within our supply chain to be carbon neutral. In addition to building great buildings like this and encouraging things like mass timber, we've developed our EC3 tool in consortium with the University of Washington Carbon Leadership Forum. And it's a great way for us to begin to understand our embodied carbon footprint of our supply chain and start reducing it. So we've incorporated all types of timber into this building. For starters, the structure is a glue laminated timber columns and beams, and then we have a nail laminated timber decking for the flooring and roofing. We also incorporated salvage material. Wood is a great salvage opportunity, so we have incorporated salvage materials. So as a Georgia Tech alum, this is my favorite salvage wood story. Hey, you don't have to go far away. This comes from Georgia Tech Tower, the original building on campus, and in 2016 did a renovation. So the equity pedal within the living building challenge is kind of hard to define. So our team really tried to go above and beyond within this pedal. This is not a requirement from the living building challenge, but it is in the spirit of the equity pedal. And what is more equitable when you think of a local economy than creating jobs? So what we did was partner with a local nonprofit, Georgia Works, which is a program to work with formerly incarcerated or homeless men and get them back on their feet.
From a performance area, the two metrics that people pay most attention to is whether the building is net positive energy or net positive water. But what I've noticed through giving so many tours of the building and having so many conversations about it is that people really connect to wood. When you think about it, everybody is a tree hugger. We know the importance of trees to our global environment, how trees sustain life. And we have this natural affinity to wood. So when folks walk into the building, one of the first things they say is, wow, it smells like wood. Look at all this wood. And then when you start telling the stories of wood, how the bench they're sitting on was a tree that fell down of natural causes on campus. Instead of mulching it, we turned it into that bench. Or the story of our staircases and the history of Georgia Tech that's preserved in those staircases. Or the story of our ceiling. Not only did we salvage some of those pieces of wood from Atlanta's film industry, but we used local labor. It became part of the equity story of the building. Wood represents so many stories. Wood is a material that we're all familiar with, that we all love. And one of the goals I have for the Kendeda building is that it encourages more commercial buildings in our region to consider using mass timber in their projects.
So as we discussed with the AEC community, we know timber is beautiful and that it can be good for the local economy. And if forested sustainably, it can lower our embodied carbon within the industry. Mass timber can replace some structural materials that are much more carbon intensive. And so we need to do more and more within our supply chain to find out ways to lower our embodied carbon. Mass timber, it takes carbon dioxide and turns it into oxygen as it grows. And then once it's sustainably harvested, this is carbon stored in our beautiful buildings.
I think I speak for the entire team when I say that one of the lessons learned is don't embark on this challenge unless you're all in. But once you're all in, this is going to be the most fulfilling professional endeavor of your life. Once you learn everything that you learn through a Living Building Challenge project, you can't unlearn it. So to do things any other way in the future is just inconceivable, right?
That's right. And as a member of a team that's integrated and works together, One of the best benefits we had working on this project was that we had no doubt at all whether or not we could do it. We knew we had to. It was the requirement. It was the standard.
Yeah, and that's the power of building to a certification standard. It keeps you honest. So that's another lesson I've learned, is that people often ask me, well, what's the advantage of building to a certain standard when we know what we're doing? And actually, we hope we get there. I hope we get there one day. I hope one day that the stuff that we've done in this building is so normal that you don't have to achieve certification. And the first project is a challenge. The second, third might be a challenge. But after a while, we hope it's not challenging anymore.
Hey, that's one of the wonderful gifts of the Kendeda Fund. They've done it first here in the Southeast now. We can take those lessons learned and apply it to all the others in the future.